Hello everyone and welcome to... This is the Middle East and here's Qatar, or Qatar as we say in English, as if the country were a stringed instrument. Now let's have a look, shall we? Jutting out into the Persian Gulf from the Arabian Peninsula, the hot desert country of Qatar has been inhabited for millennia, but much of what was going on back then simply isn't known. What is certain, however, is that the Kassites were present on the Qatari island of Al-Khawar. The mysterious Kassites conquered and ruled Babylon in the 16th century BC. In Qatar, they made use of the glandular secretions of sea snails to produce purple dye, which was highly coveted and very expensive. And yes, there are easier, non-mollusk mucus ways of making things purple now. Qatar later became part of the Iranian Sasanian Empire until the 600s, when the Arabs began to push the Iranians out of the region. Qatar thus became one of the first places to accept the religion of Islam. In the 1300s, Qatar was conquered by the Kingdom of Ormuz, which itself was conquered by Portugal in 1515. Arab rule eventually returned, and in the 1860s, Qatar and its neighbour Bahrain had a war which ended in a ceasefire mediated by the British Empire, who also recognised the Qatari ruling house of Al Thani, who still rule Qatar today. In 1871, Qatar fell to the Ottoman Empire, but Turkish policy nettled Qatar, who won this battle against an Ottoman force and thereby paved a path for Turkish withdrawal. In 1916, Qatar became a protectorate of the British Empire, and it was during this time that oil was discovered. Wealth generated from exporting this oil after 1949 fast-tracked the country's modernization, and as Britain prepared to vacate the Persian Gulf, Qatari independence was promised and achieved in 1971. Under the reign of Emir Hamad here, Qatar tapped into its massive natural gas reserves, the world's third largest after Russia and Iran, and even more money was made, $250 million of which Hamad spent on one of Cézanne's paintings of card players. Would you have spent $250 million on a Cézanne painting of card players? Of course not. You would have been like me and bought something more sensible, like Cézanne's apples and pears. In 2013, he stepped down and let his son take power. In 2017, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, and the UAE accused Qatar of financially supporting terrorist organizations. Qatar was like, no? There was a breakdown in relations between Qatar and several countries, until things were somehow resolved for the most part before Qatar hosted the FIFA World Cup, the first Middle Eastern country to do so. Anyway, Qatar today has a very high level of human development, and is one of the richest and safest countries in the world. There's also a giant teddy bear in the airport. Anyway, that's it for Qatar, and that's all from me for now. Bye-bye!